Hi folks, I've been working on a little side project for the past couple of days, so I've got some upcoming gigs for Hydra, which I'm kind of mixing in a couple of remixes of some of my older tracks, one of which is in Sigma, Open Our Eyes, what's it called again, and I thought I'd do a Hydra remix. I actually played a remix that I made of this in a couple of past Hydra shows. Wasn't really happy with the kind of reaction it was getting, so I thought I'd kind of revisit this. And what I ended up doing was pretty much starting over again with this remix. And I'm pretty close to wrapping it up, so I thought I'd share this as like a little bonus episode, if you like, to show you how I'm wrapping it up, what I'm listening for, show you some of my effects chains. And if anyone's got any questions as to, you know, what to do at this stage in the track, then fire them over and I'll try to answer as many as I can. So what I'll do, yeah, I'll just play what I've done actually, so give you some kind of idea. Okay, so I'm just going to play it. I'm going to be tweaking along as I go. There's a couple of things I want to do. I want to get like a reverse piano into this mix, and I'm playing around with like kind of an old school JP8000 bandpass supersaw type sound, which I really love from, I don't know if you guys remember Trancer from back in the days, you know, 97 onwards. It's kind of inspired from their kind of sound, which I used to love from what they used to do. So I'm messing about with that, and yeah, just basically tonight I'll be wrapping this mix up. I don't want to spend too much time on it because it probably, you know, well, I don't know if I may release this, I may not, we'll see, but that's not the intention. It's really to have a little bit of a sidestep away in my Hydra sets, so I'm going to play it and yeah, we'll go from there. So yeah, I'm not 100% sold on the main lead sound yet, so I'm kind of tweaking that as we go. I'll show you what's going on here actually. Let's have a look. Get rid of this screen, pull up this one. There we go. It's on ep21. It's just a monophonic patch. So I'm kind of tweaking this. So I'll play along, and yeah, you'll see where it goes. So yeah, it's a really simple, it's just a saw wave basically with a bit of a tight envelope on the filter. So yeah, I'm kind of, yeah, I'm almost there with it actually. I'll keep going. yeah, so you can kind of see what I've done. Not making it a long mix this, it's literally just an in-out, kind of hark back to that kind of, yeah, that era of trance. As I say, I may release this as a mix later on, maybe next year, or I may not, we'll see. I'll basically see how the reaction goes in the clubs and in the events I've got coming up. So yeah, so a couple of things I wanted to do was have like a big reverse piano leading into the breakdown to kind of add a little bit of tension, so I'm going to crack straight on with that. Yeah, I'm literally just going to record the bass notes, and once I have that as audio, just spin it around, reverse it. Right, so yeah, that's basically just full velocity piano over 2 octaves. I'm going to render that as a piece of audio, bypassing the EQ I've got on the top line. Yeah, so yeah, kind of I'm going to layer this up. Well, in fact, the parts are already there. It's just like reverse kind of whooshes and whatnot. So I'm going to have a piano do the same thing. Something I used to do back in the day, so it's really just to keep a little bit of flavour of the old school kind of vibe, but obviously the drums and the percussion and the energy have really been cranked up on this one, so I think it's kind of one of the tracks which I'll end up playing in my hydro sets towards the end of the set. Slightly more banging sound to it than the other stuff I've been making, which I will be coming back to probably tomorrow or day after with another stream. One of the progressive tracks I'm working on is really coming along nicely, so I'll be showing you that very soon. So yeah, so I'm going to come in with this piano and show what I'm going to do. Yeah, okay, so basically we've got like this big smash which kind of happens on the upbeat to the breakdown, so I'm going to get the piano to just end at exactly the same spot. So I'm literally just taking it back an eighth, there we go, job done. Again, it's one of those sounds that I don't want to overuse in a track, so I'm going to use it there, into the breakdown, and possibly once more. Yeah, I don't know where actually yet, so we'll just leave that there for now. So I'll show you what else I've got going on there. So I have this big boom thing, which is underpinned by 2 kicks. In fact, what I'll do, I'll show you exactly what's going on in the whole track. So there's actually quite a few tracks. So we've got, what, 95 tracks going on in here. So basically I've got 2 kick drums. I've started using sampler tracks in Cubase a whole lot more now. It's really, really quick and simple to have an audio piece of audio, whether you've sampled it or you pulled in a sample from a library and just basically turn it into a MIDI track. So I'm doing that pretty much for all my percussion now. So yeah, I've got 2 kicks, which is this one. I'm going to turn the mic off so you don't have to hear the feedback. So I've got like this lower end kick and a top end punchy kick, and together they come together with this. And a whole load of kind of like 16 kicks and booms. There's this big kind of boomy stab thing which is really, really weighty, so I love this sound, which it was like 3 different booms that I kind of layered up. And where I've used it in the breakdown it's on its own track, but where the boom overlaps with any of the kick drums, I've split it across 2 tracks. So if I show you what's going on here, basically if you look at this section here, you get the boom happening here with all the bottom end, and where it overlaps with the kick above, I've got a high pass so you don't get too much bottom end stuff going on. So that's kind of going on, and I've created this kind of boom fall thing, which was literally made with Repro 5. I just got a really simple sine wave and pitched it down over a period of time. So yeah, that's basically what's going on with the bottom end stuff. And then as for the percussion, quite simple for me actually. There's only maybe 3 or 4 hi-hat patterns. So I'll just play you this section here where it's all kind of going full on. So one of the jobs for tonight was to mess about with this old JP8000 bandpass kind of transo inspired part, which was coming from Silent, which I was messing about with earlier. So I want to kind of nail this part tonight. Here we go. So this is the sound. I'll show you what it is. It's basically just a bandpass over a super saw. So yeah, I kind of love all those sounds from like kind of late 90s trance. So as you know, the whole Hydra thing is kind of bringing back that kind of stuff, which I love from back in the day. So I'm just going to basically go for a few takes and record a few parts and see what happens. Yeah, I just know I want to get that kind of sound in here. So we'll see what it kind of brings up. So I'm just going to record and play. I'll probably play a lot of rubbish to begin with, but we'll find something hopefully soon. Yeah, that's kind of adding a really nice energy, which I like. I'm basically just going to quantize that up and edit some of that and try to compress the hell out of it, basically, so all the different frequencies that I'm kind of sweeping through all come through at the same level. So yeah, I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. At the moment it's just going through Oxide. No big surprise there. Put all my stuff through here because it just makes everything sound a little bit less digital. So let's have a listen to it, what we've got so far. Yeah, I quite like that sound. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to get an 1176 compressor. I'm just going to pull up the UAD. There were so many different variations on the 1176, but the UAD one kind of works for me, just because it's basically going to get a really fast release and a reasonably fast attack, and just to basically even out all the note levels. Really slam the input on this as well. Okay, let's have a look. I'm going to try and make it a bit dirtier, so I'm going to pull up the Sound Toys, what's it called? Yeah, the Decapitator. I can really overdrive this and add a bit of distortion. So we'll give this a whirl. Okay, and then I'm going to put a ton of delay on this, so I'm just going to stick it through Replica. I'm just trying to get the kind of sound and the vibe kind of working at the moment. I'll go back and edit the actual parts, what it's doing in a bit. Okay, right, it's kind of getting close towards what I'm looking for, should I say. Yeah, let's try it with the in context with everything else. It's not something that I'm going to use a whole lot in this track. It's maybe just going to be somewhere in the intro as the intensity is building up, looking for, you know, a bit more energy. Maybe 16 bars before the breakdown, perhaps. Yeah, okay, so I'll just give it a try. I'll get rid of that. Okay, right. Yeah, so I think at that section in the track, that's where I want to be having a little bit more interest poking up. So I'm going to just... how does it look on your screens, guys? If I kind of show you this in full 3K, is it too small? I'm not sure. I guess there'll be quite a few of you watching this on an iPhone or something, so I don't know how this translates. Or is it better just leaving it at 1080? Just looking at the screen on my laptop here, it looks like it's frozen. Can you guys still see this? Is it coming through okay? If someone could let me know, that'd be awesome, because it looks to me like it's frozen. I don't know why. Yeah, so I think the bit that I like here is just this section. I think I'm just going to edit that. So you can see the filter that I've recorded in just with CC74, which is kind of, you know, as I'm sure you know, the kind of the standard brightness controller. Okay, so I'm just going to try repeating that. But just every other bar, I think. Every bar will be too much. See what this does. So yeah, I'm going to leave that in there for now. Live with that for a little bit. It's kind of exactly the kind of vibe I wanted it to be on. Don't want to overuse it, so it's just a nice little lift in the intro. So I want to check out the pads. I'll show you what I'm doing with the pads here actually. Very, very simple chord progression. Basically there's one layer playing this Omnisphere patch. I used to have a JD800. In fact, it's one of the first synths first proper synths that I had when I was in a band many years ago, and we got our first record label Advance. I had about £1,000 to spend on gear, and I went and bought a JD800. And this patch is from the JD800. It's like well, I'll play it to you. Here it is. So basically that's the first layer, and then on the second layer I'm using a Repro 5. Oh god, I've got to change the sound now. Shit, hang on, put that back. Let's hope I haven't changed it too much. Let's just double check. Okay, I think that's okay. Right, and the second patch I've got going on is from Repro 5. I'll just play that on its own. So that's literally just playing exactly the same thing, and then I've got Silent playing like it's a preset called Into the Night, which presumably kind of a 4 strings kind of copy sound. Just like a super saw wave thing. And all together they come together like this. So that's basically all that's happening with the strings. Very, very simple. Once we get to the breakdown, once we get to the payoff section, then I do introduce the side chain. So you'll hear this kicking in here. And the way this all kind of comes together is all the pads go to the pad stem, as you can see here. And when I go onto the pad stem, I have my side chain, which I'll just drag onto your screen. And it's basically just automated to increase the strength, so we can change the strength of the side chain there. So it just comes on a little bit when it all kicks off. Just to create a bit more space for the arpeggios and stuff that's going on. The gated choir thing here, which this is the actual original gated choir from the original Insigma version, and I think originally it came from an Akai sampler, one of Andy Perring's samples, and when I pulled the part into Cubase from my old session from back in 2002, I think it was, and I pulled it into the audio track on Cubase, you can just see how because it was a MIDI gate back in the day, the sound has been triggered by MIDI, and the way we used to do gates years and years ago was to have a volume on and a volume off, and you'd kind of automate the volume to play the gate, but because MIDI was so out of sync with everything, the timing is so obviously out, so I had to kind of recreate this from the original sample, so it's obviously playing absolutely sample accurate now, but when you listen to the original version that we did back in 2002 or 2003, the timing's all over the shop, but all the tracks were back then, so so basically this is the only part that I'm using from the original. Everything else I've replayed or reprogrammed, so I'm pretty close to wrapping it up, I reckon, so I'm just still tweaking with this, so bear with me. Something really weird going on here. Bear with me, guys. I knew there was something wrong with the piano, and when I did the reverse piano, I turned off the effects and the EQ, and I was like, where's the piano gone? Yeah, so I'm basically on the piano. It's, what am I using? I'll show you what I'm using here, actually. Yeah, it's going through this Slate channel. So basically a little bit of rolled off the bottom end, it's going through 1176 compressor again. This is a different clone from Slate. A little bit of top end from the SSL. Yeah, and a little bit more top end from this Revival Shimmer kind of really, I think it's like a 16K airband E-type EQ. And after that, it's going through Tone Lux Tilt, which is tilting the piano even more to the top end and taking up some of the bottom end. So it's I've taken out basically all the bottom end from the piano, and that was necessary to help the piano cut through. So I'm going to just try that now. It's also going through the Lexicon and Arts Reverb, and sorry, Arts Acoustic Reverb, and what else have we got? We're going through the Echo Boy as well. So this is the piano on its own. Okay, right, so I'm just kind of balancing that out against everything else at the moment. So yeah, here we go. Right, okay, so at this stage in the track I'm kind of teasing in this gated choir, and then basically for the second chorus or the third chorus, if I show you what I'm seeing here, what I do is really crank up the volume for the gated the gated choir. So this is the volume curve here, so it's gently just teasing in. And there's such a long delay on this choir, so I'll show you what's going on. So the delay is so long that it kind of overlaps and fills the 2-bar gap. And it's fairly quiet and it's just been teased in, but it does kind of keep the energy rolling. And then for the third chorus, the volume increases and we get the whole part without it being cut up into sections. What I also do there is automate the level of the delay, because if the delay was so long, the feedback on the feedback on the delay was so long, all the notes had kind of clashed and kind of run into each other. So you can see this curve here, which is turning down the level of the delay once the breaks are taken out. Hope that makes sense. Makes sense to me anyway. So yeah, so I'm just basically balancing off the choir and the piano, and still trying to get the lead to sound right at the moment. So this arpeggio is something that's not in the original track. It's something new which I've kind of come up with. That kind of starts at the start of the track and keeps on playing. So I'm thinking about maybe even bringing this into the chorus section. It's in at the moment, but it's playing so quietly that you can't really hear it. So that's another thing I'm trying to balance out against everything else. Being very careful not to have too much going on, because if we look at if we're calling it the chorus, I hate to call it the drop, as you probably know. We have the main lead. We have the piano. We have this part, which is like the introduction super saw. And then we also have this arpeggio, which I'm kind of just going to tease in a little bit. I'm just talking with the microphone off there. So yeah, so this arpeggio, I'm trying to work out whether it comes in the chorus or not, or whether I just leave it for the intro and the outro and the breakdown. I'm going to go back to the start of the track and hear things in context and decide whether or not it's going to be too much to have this arpeggio. The microphone was off for a while, so I'm not sure you know what I'm talking about, but it's this arpeggio here. And it's coming from Diva, as you can probably see, so it's just one of my simple plucky things. So yes, I'm going to play with that now and yeah, make a decision on whether it's in the chorus or not. If you're looking at the how many plugins I've got going on here, it's absolutely stacks actually. So it starts with just a high pass filter into Tonelux Tilt. Again, this is the only reason I use this Tonelux Tilt is because it's so quick and easy. I basically turn this dial to the right and it takes out the bass and adds a little bit of top, and it's got a high pass filter as well. And from there I'm going into surprise surprise, the LA2A. Then I'm going into SSL compressor, which just I don't know why I put that on there actually, but I did. And then it goes into the Pultec EQ, which is boosting a lot of the frequencies above 5K. And then there's a side chain as well, which again is the Vengeance mini chain. So that's what's going on there. I get rid of all those and continue with the part. I'll show you what's going on the bass, guys. There's a couple of lines going along, one of which is this kind of reminds me of Access Virus. I used to have a virus back in the day, and it was plugins like this that kind of made me sell it, because I could do all the same sounds in software. I couldn't do anything on the virus that I couldn't do in software, so it seemed a bit pointless keeping it. Sounds like this. That just screams Access Virus to me. Then I've got that layered with this sound here. This is coming from Diva, Bonsai Garden. It's kind of basically hold down one note and it does 3 octaves on like an arpeggio type thing. And together they kind of generate this kind of cool little vibe. And then the bass is coming from Repro 5, which is just one of the presets, just kind of doing a 16s type thing, but with a little bit of velocity, kind of tweaking the envelope of the filter. So it's kind of got a running bass vibe going on, and all together they come together like this. Sounding a little bit too loud, this cheeky silent bandpass thing. Let me just kind of look at that. Yeah, I need to keep working on that, but definitely along the right lines. I wonder if the piano, reverse piano thing might work coming out of the last chorus. I'm going to try that. Yeah, that might be quite cool. It's kind of clashing with the bass notes, of course, because they're playing different notes. I'm just going to try taking the bass notes out, actually, for that last chord change, and let the piano kind of take over. May work, it may not. Give it a try. Try this. So I'll mute that and just have the last 2 bars of the piano. Okay, let's try. Right, maybe not the last 2 bars, maybe just the last bar, in fact. Let's try doing it that way around. I think that'd be better. Okay, from here. Needs a bit more tweaking going on there. Maybe take out the top end hi-hats as well for the last bar. There's quite a few layers of effects going on here, so I just need to tame them down a little bit to give space to the piano. In fact, what I'm going to do is just, rather than have the whole bar of the reverse piano, maybe just have just the last two beats actually. And I'm going to take it right to the edge of the bar as well. But we just want the last two beats. So we'll keep the bass in for the first two beats and have the piano for the last two. See what that does. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, the jury's still out on that one. We'll keep playing with it. What it is missing is this kind of clap which comes on the upbeat to the bar. I'll put that in. So I got tons of reverb on that 909 snare. Again, I'm using the sampler track for this, and what I've done is made it really, really short and tight. Spinning wheel on Cubase, that's never good, is it? I do seem to have some problems with sampler tracks. When I try to edit them, they sometimes cause Cubase to crash, which is a bit of a nightmare, especially when I'm trying to stream. So it's looking as though it has crashed because it isn't doing anything. Oh, well, that could be end of the stream, guys. Luckily, I saved it about 2 minutes ago, so everything's fine. But yeah, that's looking as though it's gone and crashed. Well, there you go. That's the first time that's happened. Okay, well, nothing I can really do about that, so I will say goodbye. And yeah, look out for the finished mix at some point, either in one of my sets or if I release it maybe next year. I don't know, we'll see. The jury is out, so yeah. I will catch up with you guys maybe tomorrow or the day after with the progressive track I was talking about, so bye for now.